Hello, my friends. Thank you for visiting me today. Before we get started, I would like to thank everybody who's watched my videos. As of this morning, I just posted my first video yesterday in real time. I know these videos are going to be backed up a little bit, but I just posted my video in real time yesterday, and I've already had 11 people watch. I appreciate that, and I hope it keeps going. I hope you're enjoying them. And but I do hope that people start subscribing and can keep joining me. Yesterday, in last video we posted, we did our winding sticks. These are just quick and dirty winding sticks. What we're going to do is we're going to use them today to make our first project. I was going to do shop, like organization projects, because that needs to get done. I'm a very organized person, and it's driving me nuts. So I had a system all set up before, and I took it all down because I didn't like it, and I've just procrastinated on getting this new stuff up. But I'm going to show you what I plan on doing as I do it. But the first project I'm going to do was the very first project that I actually designed myself. This is I had a wedding gift that I had to get for somebody, so I thought I'd make a spice rack for them. It's nice and simple joinery. There's a few dados and housing joints, and mortise and tenon, and a groove that runs around the back. This is a frame and panel, whatever. Basically, it's a drawer on its side, on its top, sitting upright. Anyway, so this is the very first project that I designed, and so I figured for the first project that we do together, I figured I would do the same one that I did. And I'm going to kind of walk you through how I designed it, and show you how to do it. But the thing is, at the end of this video, the one that we make throughout the series, I'm going to give away to somebody who's commented to one of my videos. Now, I just kind of want to see who's watching, and so really you can put anything you want. I'm just going to kind of draw a random person at random, and we're going to get the one that we make. I've never done this kind of thing before, so hopefully it works out okay. So don't get mad at me if something doesn't work, but that's my goal for this anyways. And it's kind of a thank you for you guys coming to spend your time with me. So let's get started. The way I designed this thing to begin with is I wanted a spice rack that can hold about 12, this holds 14 spices. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, 14 spices. So all I did was I took, these are the biggest bottles, and I measured it. This is 2 inches by roughly 2 inches by 4.5. And so I just multiplied that out with a little bit of space between, and then I doubled it. So I multiplied out the width and doubled the space. And then I also we're going to make ours out of 3/8 material, because I had a hard time with doing the dados on the bottom because my router blade is too wide. It's not 3/8, it is going to be 4/8. Sorry, can't see very well. They're going to be 4/8 wide, because this blade I'm sorry, 3/8 wide. Hope I can count. It's 3/8 wide because that's the width of this blade. I really wish they would have came with a 1/4 inch blade. But in order to get a 1/4 inch blade, you have to get an adapter plus get another blade. I think it's like $80 to get one that fits this. So it's pretty ridiculous. And I don't know. It's for needing a 1/4 inch blade. I don't know. I don't know why they pick 3/8, but they have their reasons. So that's the size I'm going to make all the boards so that I can fit into the groove. So anyways, backtrack. I'm going to add that to the width here. Now, you also want a little bit of space for the bottles to be able to come out. It doesn't need a whole lot because this is pretty low. So the depth back and forth had to be enough space that I could tip the bottles. Okay? So so anyways, we're gonna go from there. The very first thing, and because you've got to let it dry, is the first thing we're gonna make is the back. And so we're gonna do the back as a first project, and then we're gonna do the rest of the pieces. But we're gonna get to that later. I'm sorry, I'm kind of rambling. So I have a piece of walnut here. Let's see how big this is. I'm hoping this will be enough. It should be. It's not that much. Not much. Doesn't take that much. This piece here is 37 inches by 8 1/4. So we're gonna use this to make that. So the first thing I like to do is, because this board has quite a big cup, and we're gonna have to glue panels together anyways. Let's figure out how we're going to do this. I'd like to keep the back, the same, only having 2 glue ups. So that one I'm going to cut off a distance of the width of the board, the width that we want. And then we're going to do is we're going to rip down the board for the other pieces, because that way we don't have to lose so much material. I was going to rip down the middle of this board so that we don't lose so much material for the twist, or for the cup. And I have more if we need it, but this is what I'm going to try to get everything out of this piece. Anyways, so I prefer to make this so that the panel goes up and down. I think it looks better. You could make the seam going side to side. It doesn't matter a whole lot, but I think it looks better if the grain is going up and down in the back. So that's what we're going to do here. So what I need to do is I need to figure out the depth distance that we're going to use this. And so this here is upside down, 11 inches all the way to the top, and I'm going to leave quite a bit of extra space. So I'm actually going to cut it off at 11 inches. That should give us plenty to use. I might even go 11 and a half just to be safe. So I'm going to go 11 and a half. I'm gonna move you over here so you can see better. Hold on, I'm gonna come back in a second. Okay, so now that we're back, I'm gonna take this and we're gonna go, what, 11.5 inches? Just make a mark. And again, this is not straight, not square or anything, so we're going to, all I'm doing is making a line across. We're going to square everything up later. It is probably smart to check, make sure that there's not so far off that you're going to mess it up. And so that line is pretty close. It's not too bad. I find that most of the time the bandsaws that when they rough saw these, cut them pretty square across. So if you want, you can always take a pencil and draw a line, draw it with a pencil, because you guys probably can't see that line at all. But I'm sorry. I'm gonna back you up a little bit, and we're gonna cut this down. I'm cutting on the waist side of the line. And this thing is rocking too much, so I'm going to stick it in my vise. It's just too tough. Okay, so now we have that. We're going to do a couple of things first. I'm actually going to pause the video and I'm going to rip down the middle of this board because I want to get the rest of the pieces out of this, and I don't want to use so much of the twist. Sorry, you cannot see that. I need to get used to looking at the camera. So before we get started next time, I'm going to rip down this board, and we're gonna clean off the edges. You could do this with a handsaw, and it wouldn't be that hard doing a rip this way. But I'm going to use the bandsaw because it's easier and saves time. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. The bandsaw is loud and I don't want to mess with the camera, so we're going to we'll come back to that. And then we're going to do is I'll be right back. So we'll see you guys in a second. Okay, so all I did was take that long board and I cut it down in half. And then we're going to go from there. So, the first thing we do, that I do, is I'm going to take, I always try to find the board that's, the end that's cupped. It seems to be easier to flatten that way. So I want the cup to go like this. So I'm going to do, it's also, I try to, we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so the first thing I do, I'm just gonna take off the board, the crown a little bit, take it down a little bit. By the way, sharpen up your planes just before you started. In between when I did the bandsaw, I didn't sharpen it before I started the video this morning. So before I did this, after I got done with cutting down the middle with a bandsaw, I paint through and I start sharpening these again. Always sharpen before you start a project. It makes things much easier. I changed it because it was taking a long time to get down, so I just took off the edges a little bit, speed it up a little bit. Okay, so it's basically flat this way now. So now we need to figure out if there's any twist. As you can see, there's still saw marks in here, but I have basically clean wood all the way across. That's all I was trying to get to. because that makes this thing basically flat crossed here. So from here to here, from this side to this side, it's basically flat. By the time we get done, it'll be completely flat. So what I'm going to do, let's see if I can show you this. I take the dot and I put it right down the middle of the board. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause you and turn the camera around so I can kind of show you. Okay, so what I try to do is I'm going to look for that blue line on the back. So the line that's blue back there, the back of the board here. And I'm going to see when that disappears. So I just lower my head. Cameras actually make this very nice. And you can see this side here is disappeared, but this side here is still up a little bit. So what that means is there is a twist that's high on this side and high on this side. So what I need to do is just plane from this corner to this corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plane from this corner to this corner. You've seen that also took out more of the marks. So by the time we're done, this will all be nice and smooth. So then I just check it again. One other thing I'm looking for is I want to make sure if I tap on both sides that it stays flat. Because if somehow I end up getting a crown in the middle, this thing will go back and forth like this. So I want to kind of tap it back and forth. Also, to make sure there's no debris on the board, it'll throw off your a little more. Just a few more shootings. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. Okay, watch for that blue line to disappear. See how they're basically disappearing now? At about the same time. It actually looks like I might have went a little too far. So hold on, we'll fix that. Okay. Now, they're disappearing at the same time. So, okay, what I was just making sure was I'm making sure that they were level. And there, let's see if that's, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's kind of hard to see on this little camera with the background, but I don't know. Hopefully you can see that they disappear the same time. So now I also like checking it this way. And there's a bit of a crown right in the middle. See how I tap it? It jiggles. So especially right here, it's a little bit high. So I'll fix that with my joiner, but first of all, I took a few shavings off with the scrub plane just to make it go a little faster. And now I'm going to go with the grain. You see how this is pointing this way? That tells me that that's probably the direction of the grain. So you can always kind of think of the rings. They'll come as show as arrows, and they'll kind of point you in the direction of the ring, the growth, the grain of the wood. So I just turned it around so that it's easier for both of us. And then I go across. Okay, so now it should be flat all the way across. And each and every and no twist. Yep. So this board is dimensioned on one side. I can take it with my smoothing plane if I want right now, but we're gonna have to do all that stuff later anyways. So I'm gonna leave it just like that for this section. And now what I wanna do is I wanna get an edge that I can mark against for reference for. my friends. I've just been editing some of the video for the milling of the lumber, and I lost some of it somehow. I don't know where all the footage went to, but I kind of want to explain what we did from here until the next video. So what we did was for the back, I showed you guys truing and flattening of the boards of the back. I did that with that board plus the other for the rest of the pieces as a one whole long sheet, one whole long board. So I did the flats of both of those, and then I trued up the I squared one edge to that. I jointed an edge to it, I think is what they call it. So they'll be milling. I'll show you milling. Every project's got milling. You start with rough lumber. You've got to make it square and true. So I'll show you more in depth later on. But basically, I trued up two sides, and then I cut them all down to about 1/2 inch. I think that was set at 1/2 inch. I ripped them down with the bandsaw. And then I did the same thing again on the boards. So I had one reference side on half the boards, and I took the other half and flattened and made it another reference side edge, face and edge on the other half. And then I ran them through the jointer to get down to just over 3/8. What I did was I took as I was running it through the jointer, I was keep checking with the thickness on my router bit, because that's what's governing the size of this. The thickness of the wood with this is this bit right here. So yeah. So anyways, that's how that should catch us up to, because when I finished with doing that, we were next to the next video, and where we start cutting out the pieces and everything. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Please subscribe. I have a link up above. I really appreciate all your subscriptions, all your comments. Again, we're going to be giving away this spice rack at the end of this video, at the end of the series, to somebody. So in order to get registered, we're going to do one registration per video. So, however, all you got to do to register is to leave a comment. You can say I'm a terrible woodworker and you can't stand my videos. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I just want to. I guess if you don't want the spice rack and you still want to leave a comment, just make sure you leave that in your comment, because I want to give it to somebody who actually wants it. So yeah, I guess I probably should just limit it to positive comments. So, because if you hate me and hate my videos, then yeah, it's not gonna. I don't know, you probably don't want those spice racks. So we'll leave it to any positive comments. How's that? So each in order to register for the spice rack, all you gotta do is leave a positive comment in each of the videos, and that's it. So next time I'll see you guys when we start cutting out the pieces. So thank you, and have a good day. Bye.